Well, hello, guys. Another Sunday, another episode of Relationship Matters. I'm Kim here with
Odingo.
Just Odingo, not Odingo Jackson.
Odingo Jackson,
Okay.
at you.
All right, I think that's doing a little bit too much, baby. Today we want to talk about getting family members involved in our relationships. You know, whether it's mom, dad, brother, sister, cousins,
Friends.
or just your best friends, like. You know, the impact it has on your relationship, the toll that it takes, because some relationships have broken over external interference.
Yeah.
You know?
External influences.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So today we want to touch on that. And Mr. Jackson, what do you think? Because I think we've both been there, haven't we?
I think we have, definitely.
Yeah.
And not only have we been there, I think a lot of people are currently there.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people who have not yet had that beautiful experience.
Beautiful experience.
Exactly, beautiful experience.
Okay.
You have a lot to look forward to. So what we are going to try to do is to give you some insights, some information, and a little bit of guideline and guidances as such.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what has been your personal experience with external interferences with family members? Was your one family members or was it friends?
Both.
Oh God.
Both.
Yeah.
Well, it's please, it's fine. As you can see right now, we are doing fine. So
We are
obviously,
doing fine.
it's the experiences came.
It didn't leave you broken.
It did not leave me broken. It grew me.
Okay.
And I think the best outcome you can hope for from a bad experience or an unfortunate experience is when you come out of it with the lessons and not just the pain and the bitterness.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I may just put this back to you and just find out what is your feeling on the
I think,
matter.
to be quite honest with you, it's a touchy one because you need your family's involvement. So I think we need to set boundaries here.
Right.
That's where I think what we need to do with that.
Set
because
boundaries.
Set boundaries.
Uh-huh.
So for instance, you are husband and wife.
Fair enough.
You understand?
But before you get to husband and wife.
No, even before you get to husband and wife, you're having your little issues. You know, there are things that we may not understand, things in our relationship which is happening, and we want to most probably get some advice. Did I do the right thing? Did I say the right thing to my husband? Did I say the right thing to my boyfriend? Did I handle that situation correctly? Because these are questions we ask ourselves most probably after a disagreement or after an argument, and you want to most probably speak to someone about it to get an honest opinion. So I think sometimes it's good to speak to, you know, someone. It could be your mom or your dad to say, what do you think? I think the problem comes in when people want to control the situation themselves.
Right.
You know, when they want to say, listen, this is how you're going to handle your matter. You know, you're going to tell your husband or you're going to tell your wife this, that, or the other, and this is what you're going to do. Or I have known of situations whereby the family member gets so involved that they actually make phone calls to the other party.
Yeah.
Like they will ring the husband or the wife and say, I didn't like the way you treated my daughter or something like that.
Or even threaten them.
Or threaten them. That has actually happened before.
Yeah,
so I think sometimes as much as and in some cultures this is expected. For instance, this is how we some cultures solve. I know of African cultures, this is how they solve marital problems. If there is a problem in the home, they take it to the elders.
Yeah.
And the elders will have a meeting about it and they will make a decision.
Right.
But I think too much external interference can damage your relationship, because at some point as husband and wife or girlfriend and boyfriend, you need to be able to handle your business yourselves.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, because I think when people try to become too controlling, every time I have an argument with you, I don't need to ring mommy or daddy. Or I don't need to have my best friend on the phone as to, you know what, me and him just had a fight and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes some people are doing those things with the other person being present. And it's about a lack of, it's very disrespectful. That's what I think.
Of course.
You know, so what's your view on that?
Well, I like to in this matter, I think it is best that I keep it simple.
Yeah.
And I think that it is important, especially in the early stages of a relationship, to get, how I look at it is consultation. you're consulting someone that you have great respect for. Like, for example, your parents or your very close friends who, not just your close friends, but your friends who seem to have their life together, who would more or less be having a successful relationship. Someone who would be, in my opinion, versed, fair, and reasonable in reference to these matters. So you would say, I'm speaking to this young lady, I'm speaking to this young man. He seems reasonable, she seems reasonable, rational, they seem really nice. I'm catching feelings for them.
Okay.
Now, what I want to know now is that I've done this or they've said that to me. What do you think?
Okay.
Remember, you are asking for consultation. You are asking someone to give you some input to make the situation better or to correct any miscalculation or any maljudgment on your part.
Okay.
That's the only reason why you are going to go outside of the relationship to try to impact the relationship in a positive, productive manner.
Makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Of
Am I
course,
very
yes.
clear? Right. Well, this is the other thing.
Okay.
Now, there is also those scenarios that I'm fully aware of where someone would go outside of the relationship. Like, for example, the boyfriend and the girlfriend have an argument, and the husband and the wife have an argument, and the young lady knows her father dislikes her husband.
Yeah.
She will not go to her mother, who's reasonable and rational. She wants some support. So she'll go to daddy and say, Daddy, you know what Aaron did to me?
Okay.
Because she's not looking to resolve a situation. She wants support, or she wants Aaron to feel some pressure.
Okay.
So, looking at getting,
I like the word pressure.
Yeah, that because we look. If you use the term, we popularize this peer pressure. So it can also be in a relationship where, in a relationship, male or female will use family members on their side or on their partner's side to pressure one another.
Yeah, that definitely has happened.
And it's unfair.
In the past. Yeah.
And that is when you could see these are what we call red flags to tell you that this might be a situation where you might need to leap quickly. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying is outside influences are, in my opinion, important. And not just is it important, it is, in my opinion, I would recommend and suggest that it happens, but only in a healthy manner. Healthy in the sense that somebody who is respectful of your relationship. Somebody who is going to offer some verbal input. Not try to call up or try to get themselves physical for themselves into the scenario. And not somebody who's going to try to tell you exactly what to do. And if you don't do it, they're going to become upset with you and want to begin to start to call you names. So when you're looking at getting some consultation, getting some information, also my view on that is you don't share everything in your relationship with people outside.
And may I add to that with regards to the friends?
Yeah.
There are some single friends that you are busy telling your problems about you and your boyfriend and you or your husband. They don't have a spouse.
They don't have nobody.
They don't have nobody.
And
they don't have they cannot give you, it's not like they've been there, done that, and it's like they can afford to give you some solid advice. Some people will just give you bad advice to just mess up your relationship.
Of course.
Because remember, they are single. So I think you have to be careful with that as well, because you will end up telling some of your single friends, oh, my husband and I are having this problem, or my boyfriend and I are having this problem. And they don't understand where you're coming from. But what they're trying to say to you, just leave him.
Yeah.
Or they'll give you information, or they'll give you advice to make your situation 10 times worse
Of course.
than it is, to add more problems to your relationship. So you have to be careful with that, about who you let in.
100%. Because I'll tell you something, I've had that experience before, that when I was single, every time I spoke about a relationship or a potential relationship, I was told by a particular person, why are you bothering yourself? Single life is the best. Enjoy your freedom. Don't even bother. But as soon as that person found a relationship, they started to look at me like I was an alien. How come you're single? Yeah. Why? I thought you said you were speaking to this person.
Yeah.
Or I thought you said you and this person liked each other. So it's really interesting that you have to be careful when you are speaking to some people, because some
Yeah.
people, when they are single life is the way to go.
Yeah.
And from the time they find a relationship, then listen, everybody should be in a relationship. So you can't share with everybody what your situation is all the time, because some people don't believe everyone has your best interest
No,
at heart.
definitely.
Every person that you share blood with is not necessarily your family.
Oh my goodness, that is so true.
And everybody who
That
says
is so true.
but the other thing as well too is not everyone who say that they are your friend.
Is actually your friend
They
and mean
means that
well for
they
you.
means they have the best interest, your best interest at heart. They don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say that they are, but they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people will say that they're your friend, but they're not really looking out for you like that. For example, there are friends who are quite happy for you and them to be single together, but they don't want to see you in a relationship because they want a relationship. And there are people who want the person you are with. So they will come
my
to,
goodness,
they
that
will
is
be
so
so close to you.
true.
Listen, they're
Oh,
after
yeah.
your girlfriend,
They're
they're
after-
after
oh,
your
yeah, or
wife,
your-
they're
it's
after you. Yeah, they're after who you with.
So they don't mind your relationship breaking down because they're waiting
Oh,
to
yeah.
just take it over.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know, so I think, but another point in if regards to family members, because I know there are some people considered what do they call mother's boys, or mommy's boys, or whatever it is. The moment they have one little argument with the wife, they take it to the mother.
Oh, yeah.
You understand? And sometimes the mother may not, like you're saying, like your wife very
Like your
much.
husband. Yeah, that's true.
You understand? And instead of actually giving you and saying to you, well, try to make things worse, they try to find, because
to make
now
things
it's like
better.
they're taking sides. Well, well, she's not supposed to do that. Instead of actually finding ways to actually help you guys unite or come to some form of an agreement or
Yeah, yeah.
understanding. Because what I've seen in most cases is that people end up taking sides.
Oh, yeah.
Sides doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah, of course.
Sides create problems. Because you are not helping me fix my relationship, you are now causing a rift in my relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
Because now it's like mom, I'm not getting along with the in-laws. I'm not getting along with with my sister-in-law or whatever it is, and now we have a problem. So sometimes I think, but on the positive side of getting families involved, I think sometimes, especially in the early stages, I think trying to get blessings, trying to get making the right decisions, trying to say, am I doing the right thing? I think in the early stages, those things are necessary. But I think as the outsiders, the families and the friends, the moment you have become one, I think you should be allowed to make your own mistakes, allowed to fall flat on your face. You understand? And then between the two of you, how do you pick yourself up? Because you have to build yourself as husband and wife. You have to build yourself up as a relationship. You cannot just get your friends involved, especially young people these days. They have one little argument with their boyfriend or their girlfriend and their whole crew know about it. You understand? Yeah. Stop allowing your friends to tell you how to deal with your matters, because that creates even more problems.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I think very important. You've just made a touch on a point. I just touched on a point there that's really, really excited me.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of like good advice, and I think which is fair advice, is in terms of external influences and external input. I think in the earlier stages of your relationship, it is important to take a fair amount of external input. But as the relationship grows, the external input should begin to
100%.
slowly weed out.
Exactly.
I think that would be like a fair.
That's
a fair position, a fair ground to take.
100%.
So in the earlier stages, you get whatever input you need to get whatever advice, guideline, input you can get. But as the relationship grows, because relationship growing is like a tree, with strength, it doesn't need as much protection. It do not need as much protection.
Yeah.
So I think as the relationship begin to grow, the two parties should be growing also into that place where they don't really need too much people from outside.
And trust me, you don't want a lot of people in your business. You don't want a lot of people in your business.
I also think as well as your relationship, I mean, every relationship is unique within its own merit.
Yeah.
And I think every relationship, when it starts, you don't really know. I don't know. But what we do is that we begin to know more, understand more, put more in, trust more in each other and begin to trust on each other and lean on each other more. So that tends to give both of you a sort more of reliance on each other. So if I see you say if you say something, I see you do something that is not what I'm accustomed to, I could say hand on heart, you know what? Over these years, even if you've acted out of character, I believe you have good cause.
Yes.
And we could sit down and we could put this thing together ourselves. I don't need to say, let me call mommy, let me call daddy, let me call my sister, or let me call my best friend.
Yeah.
Because now I believe that now we are able to bridge that gap without you trying to pull the wool over my eyes. Because trust has now built.
Yeah.
I've been able to spend a certain amount of time and see and know that your word is now something I can lean on.
Yeah.
You know my word I can lean on. So I think as time progresses, the relationship will take on, the roots will begin to sink into each other. The roots of the relationship and the relationship will then begin to have its own life. So external inputs might not be relevant or too necessary then.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense because at the end of the day, you know, you want to grow strong together.
Of course.
You know, you don't need to have parents involved, you know, friends involved in your business all the time, you know, and you don't want to be one of these couples. It's like every time you have a fight, and you know, the funny thing is you get in those family members involved, and it's like when they get a phone call from you, it's like, oh yeah, so and so is fighting again.
Yeah.
And now it's like they just gossiping about you basically. You become a joke.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's about you building. From my experience, my personal experience, I don't like getting my family involved. I don't think I've ever actually gotten my family that involved. I think in my first marriage, you know, if I had an argument with my husband, I'd most probably have called my sister-in-law once or twice, just to make a point.
Right.
But not on, you know, every time we have an argument, I need to call somebody, you know, and we had a fight and he did this to me or whatever. After a while, it's like for me, it's like you become a joke. You know, they see you as a joke.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, moving forward as a husband or wife or boyfriend and girlfriend, you need to grow together. Yeah. You need to find ways of, you know, having, I don't know, like communicating, listening to one another. You understand? You may not always get it right all the time. You understand? And, you know, and sometimes get someone who is not going to take sides. Because we have a friend like this, both you and me and it, like we have a friend. Yeah. And occasionally we have spoken to this friend. And one thing I like about this friend is that they don't really take sides. If I'm wrong, they'll say, Kim, you're out of order. And if you're wrong, they'll tell you the same thing. They don't say, well, Odingo, yeah.
They're logical.
You know, at the end of the day, you want someone to be
equal.
Exactly.
They're fair.
They're very fair. You need to find somebody who's fair, not somebody who's going to take your side because you know that person is for you and against your spouse.
But one of the reasons why you should not get, I think one of the reasons why, I mean, I've already said what I believe.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons why you have to try to abstain and try to keep away from getting people from outside, getting them involved in your relationship is there are some people who they know that it does not matter what they do. Their grandmother, their uncle, their brother, their friend, they know somebody would always side with them.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't matter what happened, they will take their matter to this person. Because they know that they will never get a wrong. Or they will never get a fair, because they don't want a fair answer. All they want is to hear that they are right all the time,
right,
and everybody else is wrong.
Oh, yeah.
So they will always go back to this person or these set of people. So they have their network who would always tell them they are right and everybody else is wrong. Or they will always spin a story to prove themselves right all the time. So sometimes you're in a relationship and the person you are with, they're not with you. They are just always trying to prove how much they are right and you are wrong.
Yeah.
So you have to be very clear and you have to be careful not to see. You have to be careful to see when these things are happening.
Oh, yeah,
that you're in a
100%.
relationship with someone, and while you are willing to grow and become a different person and become mature, you're with someone who is always right. And who can do no
That's
wrong.
a relationship, by the way, you need to run away from.
Oh yeah, these are one of the these kind of people afraid of.
Just to put that out there.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, if you're always right, I can't be with you.
Yeah.
Because for me, that is a sign. That's a telltale sign that I need to run away from you. Because I need to know I'm with you. Listen, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And when you're wrong, you can come to me. Even if when you are in the heat of the moment and you haven't cooled off your head yet and you want to, at some point, you need to come and say to me, you know what?
I realized
I was wrong.
Yeah, I realized.
I was wrong.
I might have miscalculated
I
something
might
there.
have really went over the top here. You understand?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's just life. It means we're just human beings. We do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? No one is perfect. I'm going to mess up. You're going to mess up. But I think we're going to close with this message here. You know, I think in the early stages, my advice is you can get family members, maybe some friends involved in your relationship.
And some family members
You
as well.
understand? When you are maybe just trying to figure things out. But as your relationship progresses, you need to stand on your own 2 feet. You need to stand your ground. You and your husband, or you and your spouse, you and your girlfriend, boyfriend, you need to be able to work things together without getting people involved. And another point is, not everyone, like my husband said earlier on, has your best interest at heart. Not everyone
your
has the right
relationship.
intention for your relationship. So be careful with the friends that you are running to, because you may be running to them about your problems, and trust me, they do want your relationship to crash.
Oh, yeah.
So be very careful about who you keep running to every time you have a disagreement, every time you have an argument. Remember, there are some really selfish and evil people in this world.
But can I also say as well, you have to be careful who you go and tell your problems to, because if you have a relative or a friend whose relationship is in a bad place, you please try to use common sense as well.
Yeah.
Don't go to someone whose relationship is in peril to tell them about your relationship.
They can't give you no solid advice. Exactly.
Well, no, but you can't go to them and tell them that your relationship is walking out or failing, because you have to understand that they might, if you're aware of it,
Yes.
that their relationship is in peril.
Oh, yes.
You can't go to them and tell them that, you can't go to someone who's just gone for a divorce to tell them, I'm getting married, and expect for them to celebrate with you, because they are in a place of hurt.
Of
So you have to
course.
also be considerate and also be wise. Don't go to someone whose relationship is in pieces to tell them, to ask relationship advice, because they'll tell you to run for their life.
So important.
Timing,
Timing.
and the situation.
Know who you want to talk to.
Of course, you have to be very
know. You need to know
very
your
careful.
have a handful of people that you could seek genuine advice from, and make sure these people have your best interest and your spouse's best interest at heart. Because at the end of the day, you are one. You understand? Some people would love to see you go down the drain. In a second. They done business. They will tell you, they will give you all the wrong advice. And then when you break up with your husband, or they will tell you, just leave him, he's a no good somebody. Tomorrow you're single. Because and then they enjoying their best life. They have a relationship, So don't take advice from people. Another thing is, don't take advice from people who have no relationship either. Because they're not. It's like, what can they tell you? What advice can they give you if they've never had those issues? You know what I mean? So I think we just need to be very, very mindful. So we're going to end with that. Just be very careful. Not everyone is for you. Try to build up on your own. Try to work things with your spouse. Try to speak to your spouse. Try to communicate more with your spouse. And don't always communicate. What's that word? You always say something to me. When you're listening, don't listen with the intention to respond. Listen to understand.
Listen to understand. And listen to understand, and listen to appreciate where the other person is coming from.
Exactly. You may not always be right, and that's okay. That's life. I think we nailed this one, baby.
Yeah, fair enough. But so we just want to just say, in all things, the foundation has to be from a good place. It has to be from a place of love. And
Always
if
from a place of love.
move from a foundation of love and honesty and sincerity, and you mean whoever you are with the best of intentions, and you follow that through with sincere actions,
You can't
everything
go
will be
wrong.
fine.
Exactly.
Everything will
Exactly.
be just fine.
Well,
just
with
keep
that-
loving each other.
With that said, I think that's it. Thank you for another great episode, Mr. Jackson.
And
Spot
you,
on. Your
Mrs.
knowledge just
Jackson,
keeps...
thank you very much.
It's just improving in it with wisdom, and I don't know. It's like you're just a ball of information, isn't it?
Well, I'm rubbing off you, aren't I? I'm learning from the best. Well, listen, have a wonderful week, everyone. Lots of love.
Lots
Thanks
of
for all
love, and
your
see
support.
you again next Sunday.
See you next Sunday.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye-bye.